I can honestly say that there is not a time in my life when I don't remember the Flintstones being on television. Even today you can still watch this show for free if you have an over-the-air antenna, as MeTV currently has it in their programming lineup. Yep, just hearing the name Fred Flintstone conjures up many wonderful memories of the first animated TV program that was part of a network's primetime lineup. But did you know that if co-creator Bill Hanna had been given his choice, Fred would have had a slightly different last name? More on that in a moment, but first, let's talk a bit about the program itself. Reminiscent of the live-action TV show The Honeymooners, the Flintstones debuted on ABC television in 1960 and ran for 6 successful seasons, set in the Stone Age but very much reflecting the modern era of the then 1960s. The show's 2 main protagonists were best friends, Fred Flintstone and his neighbor Barney Rubble. Along for many of their crazy adventures were their wives Wilma and Betty. When the show debuted, most of the critics gave it poor marks and forecasted a quick demise for the cartoon. However, television viewers in the US, well, they loved it, and before you could say yabba dabba doo, Flintstones mania was in full swing. So let's get to this whole name change thing. You see, when Hanna-Barbera put together the pilot for network executives, Fred's last name was Flagstone. I know, it just doesn't sound right. But maybe, just maybe, if he'd been called that for the last 60 years, Flintstones would sound odd to us. However, the name Flagstone was just not going to work. And that's because of this guy. Well-known cartoonist Mort Walker. Walker is best known for the classic comic strip Beetle Bailey, which always seemed to be the inspiration for Gomer Pyle USMC to me. But we're not actually going to talk about Mort's best-known comic strip, because we really need to talk about Mort's other comic strip, Hi and Lois, which was in fact a spin-off from Beetle Bailey. You see, Lois first showed up in the Beetle Bailey comic strip because she's Beetle Bailey's sister. So anyway, Hi and Lois's last name is Flagstone. And when Mort Walker heard that Hanna-Barbera was putting together a cartoon called the Flagstones, well, he thought that the name was just a little too similar. So, his lawyers called their lawyers, and before you knew it, William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, well, they were forced to put their heads together and come up with a new name for Fred and Wilma. And that, my friends, is how the Flintstones came to be. Not because it was the best choice, but rather because no one really wanted to get sued. Bill Hanna talked about the whole experience of creating the Flintstones at great length in the Australian magazine TV Week, way back in 1979. And in that article he said, "It broke my heart to have to change it to the Flintstones. The Flagstones just sounds right to me. But we had to change it because someone was talking about suing us. I loved that first name." I hear you, Bill, but I really do believe that we're all better off because of the name change. It may not have been your favorite, but it certainly is mine, and I have it on good authority that Pebbles, now that she's all grown up, prefers Flintstone as well. Along with the great 6-year run on primetime television here in the US, the Flintstones have really become part of our pop culture lexicon. I mean, come on, who can forget the live-action movie with John Goodman in the lead role? He really was a great Fred, and Rick Moranis wasn't half bad as Barney either. But even more notable than that is the fact that Weird Al memorialized the program in his song Bedrock Anthem. That song is a lot of fun, and it honors the show and pokes gentle fun at the musical stylings of the Red Hot Chili Peppers all at the same time. If you haven't heard it, you've got to check it out. It's right here on YouTube. One last thought. Can you imagine Flagstone's vitamins for kids? Me neither. Some things were just meant to be. Alright, now it's your turn. Please feel free to share your memories and let me know what you think in the comments section below. And while you're at it, I'd appreciate it if you clicked on the thumbs up icon and maybe even considered subscribing to my channel. I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.